Welcome to the Passionate Roaditor, TPR, where we stay on the road to keep you safe on the road. The circumstances of the accident involving the late Cyrus Jirongo's Mercedes and the Climax Coaches bus have troubled me, as they have many Kenyans. However, after reviewing the CCTV footage and close-up footage of the exit of Eagol Petrol Station in Karai, I believe I now understand the exact cause of the accident. Jirongo entered the petrol station and left without fueling. TPR believes Jirongo was using the fueling station as a convenient and safe location to make a U-turn on the Nairobi-Nakuru Highway. There is a Shell petrol station nearby, which is on your left as you are heading to Nairobi and on the right as you approach Naivasha, as seen here. Perhaps Jirongo was in need of fuel and, having passed it, decided that it was his choice petrol station to fuel. That's reasonable. As Jirongo was leaving Eagle Petrol Station, this was his view, but definitely in the dark. It is my firm belief that Jirongo joined this lane here, believing it was the one he was supposed to join. As you can see here, there are 3 lanes, with the one on the right being the acceleration and deceleration lane at the petrol station. The center lane is the one for vehicles bound for Nakuru, while the one on the extreme left is the one for Nairobi bound vehicles. Note the lane markings. White broken lines here and here. At night, I can now see how this can be confusing to a driver. Compare these white broken lines at the exit of Eagle Petrol Station to these white lines at a different section of the same highway. It's a subtle difference, yet one that in this particular instance seems to have caused a big difference. TPR believes Jirongo joined the lane of oncoming vehicles in the belief that he was on the Nairobi-bound lane. Given the design of some petrol stations, such as this one, still on the same highway, Jirongo may have thought that this lane is part of the highway. He therefore went to the left of it, believing he was on his rightful lane when he was actually in the lane for oncoming traffic. With fatigue and given the paintwork here, the mind can inadvertently make that error. TPR believes this is what happened. Unfortunately for Jirongo, there was a speeding bus right at that moment. Also note that for portions of the highway, the center lane is painted yellow, while the border lanes are white, such as this case. How then does this section have white broken lines which are almost similar in their brokenness? The issue of lane markings on Kenyan highways has not been given the weight it deserves. Yet here is an instance where lack of proper lane markings seems to have contributed to a catastrophic consequence. In fact, at Kariandusi, there's a section where the Nairobi-Nakuru Highway becomes a dual carriageway for a short distance due to climbing lanes on either side. The lanes are well marked. Check out how confusing it is for motorists who may begin overtaking at a climbing lane, but then in the middle of the overtake, find the climbing lane merging, resulting in a dangerous scenario like this one. Concerning the account of the accident provided by Tiras Kamau, the Climax Coaches bus driver, a number of his assertions have been thoroughly debunked by the CCTV footage.
Aliingia kwa mafuta kwa barabara na akaona upande yake gari zimeweka jamu. Akaamua kuja penye niko. Tukakutana kichwa na kichwa na yeye.
This is a flat-out lie, according to the CCTV footage. If anything, you can see Jirongo wait patiently for these two vehicles to pass. There is no traffic jam here. For the entire duration of the CCTV footage, TPR has not found any portion to suggest that Jirongo was driving while intoxicated.
Wakati aliona upande yake ya kupanda Nairobi magari meshikana, alifanya hesabu overtake hizo gari.
Given there was no traffic jam, this assertion does not hold water.
Mimi naye nikamuona nikiwa mbali. Nilipomuona nikiwa mbali, nikajaribu kanyaga hiyo gari brake na kulikuwa kumenyesha.
TPR believes that Tiras did in fact see Jirongo from a distance, given that the bus seems to have been traveling at speed with full beams. TPR believes that Tiras thought by the time he got to Jirongo's Mercedes, the Mercedes would have moved off his path. Tiras thus failed to take any evasive action, even though there was a clear and wide shoulder to ease onto. Tiras was clearly speeding, yet Karai area is a speed enforcement section. Bus drivers know two things. It's the peak season for their business, and secondly, to make hay while the sun shines. In this case, the sun shining is the reduced traffic at night, which affords buses the opportunity to travel further, faster. This seems to be the reasoning behind the high speed. At Karai, day or night, that speed is not justifiable for a bus, nor for any other vehicle. But you've got to understand that it's highly likely that Tiras has passed at that section numerous times, driving at that speed, with no consequence.
Mimi naye nikamuona nikiwa mbali. Nilipomuona nikiwa mbali, nikajaribu kanyaga hiyo gari brake na kulikuwa kumenyesha.
Tiras says it had rained, yet the bus is going at this speed while on a gentle slope downwards. Wow.
Wakati nilijaribu kuokoa nikasikia gari yangu inaenda chini. Sasa mimi nikanyaga akakuja kama ameniingia.
It seems to me that Tiras was going too fast, that he feared what an attempt to brake would result in. He therefore opted to hope that Jirongo's Mercedes would have cleared his path by the time he got there. And finally,
gari yangu ilikuwa na abiria 65. Nikaona nitamwaga watu 67.
So how many passengers were on the Climax coach? That's it for this episode of TPR. Do like, share and subscribe to TPR for unparalleled analysis of incidents on our roads, all aimed at keeping you safe and reducing fatalities on Kenyan roads. Safe travels this season.